Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Brian and we are going to be playing Deus Ex Mankind Divided. And let's get into it right now. We're going to do Give Me a Challenge. You know, I always like to do a bit of a challenge. Because that's what we do here at Engaging Gear YouTube channel. We are the most extreme YouTube channel on the internet. Doing settings on kinda hard.
A new breed of people was emerging, half human, half machine. And in Detroit at least, not everyone was happy to see it.
So this is a little bit of recap for the 2011 game, I believe, which I did play and liked a lot.
Said he needed me to keep his people safe. My ex, Megan Reed, was one of them. Brilliant,
but that was a while ago. That's nearly 10 years ago.
Augmentation safe and affordable for everyone. All she had to do was present her research to Congress. But the night before her big meeting, my security measures failed.
Bikes, you just got clocked in the face? That was your security measures? Being outsmarted?
Were heavily augmented walking tanks. Their mission? Take out Megan and her team. Tried to stop them, but their leader tossed me through a plate glass wall. Last thing I heard as his bullets slammed into my brain was Megan's dying scream.
Oh man.
I should have died with her.
I barely remember this. It is all coming back though.
High-end military-grade enhancements.
I remember they were saying like, oh,
the best augmentation Sarif's money could buy.
His girlfriend was saying that poor people wouldn't be able to get augments, so it'd be like this class struggle.
But 6 months into my recovery, Sarif Industries was attacked again. This time by a radical group of pro-human purists.
Pretty interesting stuff.
Militant and fanatically opposed to human augmentation. They claimed to be members of Humanity Front,
anti-vaxxers,
a non-profit organization that wanted the UN to limit biotechnology research. The thugs broke into Sarif's factory and found machinists working overtime on a top-secret military augment.
Oh, by the way, we're doing just 30 minutes, so here, I need to start that clock.
Sent me to retrieve it. And when I did, I found one of the so-called purists next to it, wired with cerebral implants.
I think I'm gonna play through this whole game though, so this is gonna be a first 30, and then I'm pretty sure we're gonna.
Before I could question him.
Oh, gross! I'm pretty sure we will do the whole thing. So this is episode 1 of mini for Let's Play Deus Ex.
Controlling the AUG's actions from somewhere off-site. Pritchard and I tracked his signal to a secret FEMA internment camp in Detroit. The Black Op mercenaries were there. The same mercs who'd left me for dead 6 months before. Figured they'd try again when they saw me. Wasn't so easy for them this time. I took out the tank named Barrett. Even got him to give me a new lead. A penthouse apartment in China. Of course, we both knew it would be a trap in the end.
Good boss battles
China,
in this game.
Home to a city so
like in a lot of games that don't have boss battles very often anymore.
Trying to find clues in Hangzhou wouldn't be easy. Lucky for me, I wasn't alone.
Oh, also, I have the graphics on Ultra right now.
Sarif Industries ace pilot.
I am pushing my computer's CPU or my CPU. My GPU can take it just fine, but
Malik dropped me in the lower city.
We're pushing it.
Close to the penthouse barracks.
So if it seizes up a bit, that's my bad. I can just put it on high instead of ultra.
Had agents tossing the suite when I arrived. Just not for the reason I'd been expecting. Turns out the man who lived there was a criminal hacker named Van Bruggen. The same hacker who'd been remotely controlling the AUG in Sarif's factory. Van Bruggen's panicked decision to force the man to commit suicide had been a mistake. Now his mercenary partners were gunning for him, and I needed to find him.
I feel like there were decisions that you could have made throughout
Van
this
Bruggen meant playing nice with the triads, Hengsh's organized
that
crime
could have made it go
They had the
differently.
hacker holed up inside a low-rent capsule hotel. By the time I found him, Van Bruggen had no qualms giving up the woman who hired him. Zhao Yunru, president of the Taiyang Medical Corporation. According to Van
Look
Bruggen,
at that,
Zhao
man.
wanted to monopolize the augmentation industry and had hired Black Op mercenaries to destabilize her competition. Seraph Industries was at the top of her list.
Man, this stuff is complicated.
To prove this,
Ah,
I
we-
need to get inside TYM.
You gotta keep
grab
on
a surveillance
tabs.
hologram off a server.
Oh man, that going
I
invisible.
suspected
This
Van
is.
Bruggen was hiding something when he told me this.
This game is so cool.
Nothing could have prepared me for what I saw.
I like forget how cool
Megan
this game is.
wasn't dead. She and her 4 best researchers had been kidnapped, spirited away somewhere while their kidnappers made it look like they were dead. Desperate to learn more, I confronted Zhao in her penthouse. She claimed to be a pawn in a bigger plan, and hinted at a group so powerful it controlled global interests at a whim.
Well,
Then she slipped into a panic room and hit the alarm, forcing me to make a very quick exit. I figured Zhao was lying, but part of her confession made sense. David Seraph had been worried about his people. So worried, he'd required all of them to have subdermal locator devices surgically implanted. The GPOs would have been broadcasting the day of the attack. But Zhao said a single call to Picus, the world's leader in global 24-hour satellite news. had
this is
turned
too
us
much.
off.
They cannot expect us to figure, to remember
I
and
needed to
hol-
fly to
connect
Picus
all
headquarters
these
in Montreal if I
all
wanted
these
to be alone.
strings. But this is just a recap. We don't necessarily need to know this stuff for this game, though. I mean, I
Eliza
suppose
Cassan,
we somewhat do
Picus
because they're
Communications'
giving it to
first
us.
lady of news.
But I'm sure they're gonna
Malik thought
do a
I would
pretty good
cheat,
job
and
at
I told her Eliza was involved
at
in
least
this.
telling its own story in this
The
game.
world's most
So
famous news anchor, working with a mercenary hit squad. But when I confronted Cassan in her office, she freely admitted to jamming Detroit's satellites the night Megan's team had been taken. Said she's just been following her commands. I suspected she wanted to say more. But Black Op mercenaries showed up, looking to shut us both down. And just like that, the Eliza I'd been talking to disappeared. The Mercs were led by an augmented killer I'd crossed paths with twice before. Fedorova, a woman who'd made silence her best friend. She
dude,
waited for me to track Eliza's transmission to a
what
secret
an
server room
outfit.
underneath the Picus complex, then jumped me from behind. A deadly fight ensued. I made sure she never moved silently again. With Fedorova down and no one left to keep Eliza quiet, she reappeared. Turns out Picus's first lady of news wasn't a lady at all. She was a sophisticated AI program, engineered to monitor data streams and control what people believe.
Dude, the twists keep on turning.
Eliza told me the Mercs had brought in a Humanity Front doctor named Isaiah Sandoval to remove the scientist's implanted tracking devices while Detroit's satellites were down. She also
This has
told
been
me to
going on
speak
for
to
like
David
7
Seraph
minutes,
if I wanted to learn more.
by the way.
By the time Malik and I got back to Detroit, tensions between normal and augmented citizens had reached a flashpoint. Riots were breaking out in several cities, and the UN was being urged to intervene. Seraph was trying hard
All
to
this
convince
happened?
Hugh
I
Dowd,
don't remember
the
all
inventor
this.
turned philanthropist who'd once been a leading proponent of enhancement technologies, to help stop a possible regulatory vote. Seraph had a lot riding on Darrow. Megan's discovery would have given millions of people the chance to evolve beyond their normal human abilities, and at the same time catapulted Seraph Industries to the top of the Fortune 500. According to Seraph, Megan's kidnappers knew this. They didn't want people evolving unless they controlled how it was done. He called his enemies Illuminati and urged me to keep searching. Determined to do so, I tracked down Sandoval via America's most outspoken augmentation opponent, Bill Taggart, Sandoval's boss and founder of Humanity Front. Sandoval admitted to operating on Megan's team when I confronted him, but said he hadn't removed their GPLs. He'd merely switched them to a different frequency. Pritchard was able to trace one of the signals to China. Malik and I immediately took off in pursuit. Unfortunately, the Illuminati were one step ahead.
Dude, was this one game? I need to play this game again. Dude, I remember like the first I don't think I beat this game because there's just
seconds after entering Hengsha's airspace.
there's just so much that
Malik's
happened.
piloting skills saved me. After a tense and bitter struggle, I escaped into Lower Hengsha. The tracking signal I was following led straight to the Triads, or more specifically, to the augmented arm of Tong Si-hung, leader of a gang of augmentation harvesters. Tong said they'd taken the arm off a corpse, which Bell Tower had left at their door, meaning at least one of Seraph's scientists was dead. Maybe not the rest of them, though. Tong pointed me to a port used for human trafficking and helped me slip aboard a Bell Tower ship. It was sailing to Rifleman Bank
Also,
Station,
those ultra high
a military
graphics don't
base
count
in
yet
South China
because
Sea.
this is PS3. This was on
Bell Tower
PS3.
was holding kidnapped civilians
This is
as
like
prisoners there, and using them to
old
perfect the
footage.
Hyron project, a human-computer interface that left most of its test subjects dead. My search for Megan would have ended then, if not for a mysterious ally named Quinn. In exchange for
thank
my
God for
help
Quinn.
exposing Bell Tower, he slipped me aboard a second
Oh,
ship
the story would have been
Singapore,
over.
and an Illuminati-run biotech facility called Omega Ranch.
I love that they're just
Three
using
of Seraph's
Illuminati.
scientists
Like
were there,
it's not even. They're not even like
forced by their
changing the
captors
name
to
to
create a
something like
technology capable of remotely
the
shutting down
Patriots or something like
augmented
Metal Gear would
abilities.
do. They're like, no, it's the
Thanks to an
Illuminati,
emergency recall notice issued
and
by
they
the
called
World Health
themselves that.
Organization,
Here's their card. They have a
millions
logo.
of people all over the
It's a
world
pyramid with an A at
already
the top
had the biochip installed.
and an I.
With the help of the scientists, I tracked Megan to a private section of the ranch. There, I ran into Yaron Namir,
Yeah, dude, look
the
behind
walking
you.
tank who'd put a bullet in my brain the first time we met. He'd teamed up with Zhao and was hoping to catch me off guard. Their little ambush didn't work.
So I remember when that.
I found
The
Megan
anchor
in a
was-
suite belonging to Hugh Darrow.
I remember when the anchor was an
billionaire
AI, but
philanthropist
that's the
whom
last thing I
Sarah had called
remember.
on for help. Darrow had convinced her to go along with the biochip
This might have been a different
by
game.
promising to sabotage the
I
tech.
don't even know, man.
As she was explaining this, Darrow appeared.
But hey, you
on
found
the
your girlfriend.
broadcast, telling the world that augmentations would be the death of mankind. Then he activated the biochips to prove his point.
Oh,
All over
that's
the world, augmented people flew into a killing
totally
frenzy.
not nice.
Darrow had betrayed everyone, and it was up to
Dang.
me to set things right.
Yeah.
To do it, I had to reach Panchaea, a massive installation in the Arctic Ocean. As I raced through corridors built by an all-augmented workforce, I saw death and destruction firsthand. By the time I shut down Darrow's broadcast, I knew the damage he'd done. Still, humanity's future remained unclear. How would the
Emergency
world react to
Protocol
their sabotage?
420.
Would people ever regain their faith in augmentations again? What would be the Illuminati's next move? Only time could give us the answers.
Goodness, so we are stepping into a world of chaos. Maybe that's why the game is called Mankind Divided. Oh boy. Ooh. Okay. So that's gonna be the intro. I'm gonna stop it right here. This is gonna be the prelude, and then from here on is going to be episode 1.